This summer, serve up the Cookout Classics, Heinz Ketchup, and Kraft Singles. Every good burger needs a layer of perfectly melty cheese and thick, rich ketchup. We all know it's not a cookout without Heinz and Kraft.
The ultimate cookout starts with the ultimate ingredients. At Whole Foods Market, no antibiotics ever burgers and kebabs are prepped and ready to throw on the grill. Fire up a juicy ribeye. Grab creamy potato salad and savory flatbreads from the prepared foods department and round it all out with 365 brand condiments, chips, and dips at everyday low prices. Whole Foods Market. Make your summer sizzle.
Months ago at this point, and one day it will give it its own thing so it can go a little bit longer. But I loved the way it went last time, so I was like, well, let's approach it in the same way. I've got a list of 5 bands from the 90s that you are going to turn into, you're going to give us the 70s version of that band. And after my 5, or at any point in between, Gavin, I know 90s aren't necessarily your jam, but if there's a 90s band you want to toss out there, have at it.
Cool.
So let me preface this real quick. I'll
Sure.
do the same little thing I did before. So it doesn't always have to be musically, right? There's different kind of criteria that the relationships between the two bands, but the two decades can work into. Like sometimes it's interpersonal, sometimes it's career trajectory, sometimes it might be, something else. I'm looking at what I got. Sometimes it might be just vibes. So I did go through and make a list of some ones that I thought might come up. But bear with me. I might talk it through. I might ask for help if it's something I'm not too familiar with. But I feel pretty confident that I can come up with something good here. So let's see what you got.
I'm going to test the bounds this time, because again, the reason we're coming back to this is I am endlessly fascinated by it. Like, it is just a neat thought experiment, if for no other reason, like making connections. Like last time I brought up the Pumpkins and you immediately had Fleetwood Mac, and while on its face value that wouldn't have made sense to me, when you think about it and when you explained it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes complete sense. So
they did cover Landslides.
They
so
did, yes.
It's right there.
This is a band I know for a fact that you were very happy to skip over, because we've had conversations about them before, but they start in the middle of the 90s. So I'm curious about how familiar with their trajectory are, and this is very much a vibes band. How about Deftones?
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not as familiar with Deftones, but so what I know about Deftones is like it's very heavy. It's kind of like Wall of Sound-ish, right? There's like I don't know that I've ever heard a Deftones song other than like idly on the radio. So give me a quick like 20-second primer on Deftones. Talk to me.
It's it's horny music. It is kind of, there's like a lazy sway to it. For as heavy as it is, and as lazy as it is also kind of aggressive. So like, I don't know.
They were like Latino guys from like Sacramento, from like shitty neighborhoods, like coming out of the community, like poor working class.
Okay.
Like even you would think of like a, I don't know, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure.
On the third record,
I'm thinking like,
sure.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, on the third record, White Pony, they got experimental. They started incorporating some different sounds.
Who was that band that Fredo and I did? The the metal band from the 70s that got all psychedelic. I'm not saying that's who I'm going to pick, but Black something.
Oh yeah. Or was it Blood something?
Blood Rock.
Blood Rock.
I'm tempted to say Blood Rock, but I'm not going to go that obscure. I'm going to go, and you tell me, like, you guys tell me, I'm thinking like a Deep Purple, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
For Deftones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. All right.
Okay.
One of the guys was in like a coma for like 10 years or something, right?
Chi, yeah. The bass player, and that was like in the early 2000s. They had to move on without him. I think he ultimately passed.
Yeah.
But Chi Chang, the original bass player for the Deftones, and that's around Diamond Eyes. I didn't even include like the resurgence, like the self-titled stuff, because this is specifically 90s
yeah,
work.
you're doing strictly, yeah.
So, all right.
That's a good one. That like I had to think about that one a little.
Yeah,
bit.
and
That's good.
It tests the bounds a little.
Yeah.
This band, I'm not sure how familiar you are with them. Very near and dear to my heart. Literally number 2 behind the Smashing Pumpkins. How about Local H?
Local H. Okay, let me look because I know there's just 2 people in the band, right?
Yes, they've been a 2-piece.
So band makeup is something that we can go off of. So if I'm looking at like 2 people bands, that I didn't say that very well, but duos, let's say. Talk to me about Local H a little bit. I know the first record they had Copacetic, Blood on the Floor. Well, what was kind of their trajectory? How did they go?
So they were heralded as the next Nirvana on their the first record, Ham Fisted.
So there's high expectations, okay.
Right? And then Copacetic hits, and clearly that's not a Nirvana song. But it does get them radio popularity. Not the Kids Are All Right. The follow-up, Pack Up the Cats, comes out in '98 and is a flop. I love that record, but I love the band. That's an aside. Critical Failure, they never they're still around, but they never quite reach what they're supposed to. And if, for what it's worth, yes, they are a 2-piece, but Scott rigs his guitar through a bass lead as well.
Okay.
So he's playing guitar and bass at the same time on the one.
So we've
instrument.
got some unique instrumentation
right
going on. Okay. What about critical acclaim? Are they regarded as kind of like an underrated 90s band, or are they lumped in with those kind of alternative, whatever? But how are they reviewed critically?
I think people have come around on them as far as a band that should have been bigger, but I think ultimately ignored. I don't think anybody thought much of Local H. Very working class. I've told this story before. This might help you to understand them. This did happen in 2005, but I saw Local H in 2005. They were playing a bar in Virginia Beach, and Scott Lucas, the lead singer, was working his own merch table, and they had a local band open for them. They just came through some random bar, just very working class, not out of touch. So really, I think this is just a working class band, really.
Okay. Give me a second. Let me look, because I'm thinking so my first thing to look. I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. The first thing that I'm looking at that might come to mind is something like Steely Dan.
Okay.
But I know that that's not always that's a different thing. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm tempted to go a little bit weird. Gavin, do you have any input on this while I'm
I mean,
Tell me as
I'm
it comes in.
googling around, and it sounds like that they were critically accepted for their songwriting, and they had ambitious record concepts. So that would go
Okay.
along with Steely Dan, but that like
Okay.
they were under promoted and kind of like had a lack of mainstream commercial dominance, probably because the market was really flooded at that point. And
Hmm.
if you have some complexity to what you're doing, you probably just got like passed over.
Yeah. The other thing I'm looking at is like, like England Dan and John Ford Coley or something, like some kind of soft rock, or like Seals and Croft or something. Like, I'm kind of stuck on this duo thing. I
Oh,
feel
right.
like that has to be the main part of it.
And
Um,
it's a band from the 70s or the 60s, John, that we're matching.
70s.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Um, and like there can be multiple, like Loggins and Messina,
Mm.
Yeah.
maybe. Because like they had, like, if one of the guys in Local H had gone on to like a solo career and done really well, that would make a lot of sense. Like one of those would be easy to pick. But um, yeah, let's. I'm gonna stick with Steely Dan, and the thing is, like, a lot of them can have multiple answers. I reserve the right to use Steely Dan again if I feel
John, I
so.
got I got an idea to throw at you.
Okay.
What about like Big Star?
See,
Where
yeah, I'm not. I've got Big Star. I don't think they're as power pop as, like, as some the other. I won't spoil it, but I do have Big Star for a couple of answers that
Okay, cool.
maybe you guys throw, because I have them on my list with and matched up a couple of times. We'll see, but
Cool.
yeah, Big Star is one you could use for a lot of different people. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm stuck on this duo thing. I think it's got to be either like Steely Dan or Loggins and Messina or something.
All right.
Let's say Steely Dan.
All right. So I'm gonna stick to this one-hit wonder idea. How about Not a Surf?
So again, yeah, huge like song came out of the gate and then went away, but kind of made a career out of, out of like stuck at it and kind of had this career. Not a Surf, I think, is one of the ones that you use for Big Star
Mm.
because they're very, very power poppy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that really fits. And like, okay, if we get to the end of this and you don't name the other bands I have for Big Star, I'll tell you. But yeah, Big Star is like they're like, how many times have we referenced Big Star on an album when we did a '90s band, right? Like
Right.
their influence spans far and wide. So yeah, Not a Surf, like, quintessential. I think after Popular, they kind of went in a more power poppy direction. So I'll go with that.
For sure. Like almost immediately on Proximity Effect, they're already going that direction. All right. So now we're going to start really testing the bounds. The next act I have here is Beck.
Okay.
Huh.
Beck is one of the ones that I have thought about, and like, so Beck in the '90s starts off like kind of this like super weird, using like all these like kind of lo-fi, makes it gets a hit with this kind of weird song. My answer for Beck is Captain Beefheart.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love that. All right. And now let's really get weird with it. Here's one I'm not sure you've thought of, and I'm you may hate me for bringing it up, but I'm interested. How about the Insane Clown Posse?
Well, so I had thought about this because I know you, and there's like it just has to be Kiss, right? Because like of the makeup
Yeah.
and the kind of like the flamboyant nature of them, the pyrotechnics, the lore about them, the Kiss Army, the
Community.
Juggalos, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's got to be Kiss.
The circus
People
of it
in
all.
wearing face paint. All the fans wearing face paint.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to argue about it, but there is a song where Violent J, so in '98 on their album The Amazing Jekyll Brothers, Gene Simmons' Kiss releases Psycho Circus, and the line is, "Psycho Circus, you stole my shit." So,
There you go.
There you go.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's a little beef there. So, did you want to toss one at Adam, Gavin, before we wrap the 90s to 70s?
And you could go the other way too. If you throw out a 70s band, I'll give you the 90s band.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Have you thought about like who the comparison with Oasis would be, since the Beatles are off the table because they didn't really put out anything in the 70s?
Well, so the Beatles are not off the table because I think Abbey Road is 70, right?
Yeah.
So technically they do count.
Yeah.
So yeah, Oasis I think is like, if you combine all of the Beatles solo catalogs, like that's Oasis. Like famously, I think Wonderwall is ripped off a George Harrison
Right.
album title. But yeah, Oasis are the Beatles. But